All right, we are doing the Everglades from the National Parks Watercoloring Book. If you don't already know, I sell watercoloring books with pre-drawn outlines and links to the video tutorials on how to paint the outlines. So what we're gonna be using today is I have my paint palette that you can get on my website. You can get it in a bundle with paints, book, and brushes, or separately, whatever you want to do, but I'll link them. I'm using my size 12 round tip brush, and I am so excited for this one. I don't paint animals very often, but I have a new love for flamingos. So I'm excited to get going on it. Okay, so we're gonna do the base layer first. I'm grabbing this skin color and putting it in the mixing tray over here. And I'm gonna add a little bit of pink to it so it's more of a salmon color. Okay, so I'm gonna be painting the bodies, but I am moving around because I don't want them to blend in with each other. So here we go. And I'm not doing any like crazy textures just yet. We're just doing one flat wash. Okay, so I am gonna shift the color a little bit because that's a little bit more neutral than I want. I do want more pinks showing through, so I'm just adding a little bit more pink and more water to dilute it down. Okay, so I'm kind of keeping this color, but I'm gonna start like branching out and making slightly different variations. So I am adding more of this skin tone, and that's gonna be for this guy. So if you're wondering why I love flamingos, so if you've been around for a little bit, you know that I am a mom. I have 2 kids. And we are in, I think all stages are pretty high demanding, but I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And it takes a lot out of me sometimes. And so I came across this brand, and their slogan is I believe, "Get your pink back." And it's so cool because their mascot, I guess you could say, is flamingos. And the reason why is because when flamingos have babies, they lose their pink when they're raising their kids. And just because it takes so much out of them, they turn more of like a white color. And then as they, I guess, heal and is not as demanding, their pink starts to come back. And so I just think that's really cool because as moms, it can be a lot. And it's a reminder that one day you'll be able to get your pink back and you'll be able to feel more like yourself. And yeah, I love stuff like that where it just kind of makes you think and reminds you that there's good. So maybe we'll do this one similar to, just a little bit lighter. Maybe this one's a mom. In the stages of young kids. Maybe I will have this one be similar to that as well. So I'm just using white and then I'm grabbing from this color that we already made. The same thing, like if you went like grab some, you don't necessarily need white, you can just add more water. So that's gonna be our color for this guy. If you've been to the Everglades, do you see these pretty often? I know there's alligators and it's like a green, kind of like super mossy. Don't they have those like what are they called? The boats that have like the big fans. It's a goal of mine to go visit all of these national parks so I can paint it in the location. Okay, love that. And then we have this one. If you're finding it hard to fill in the lines clean, like if the space is too small, you can grab the brush that's slightly smaller than this one. I just like using it because you can cover more space with a larger brush while also getting those small areas when you use very light pressure. It's already starting to look so cute. All right, so some of these are gonna be getting dry. So we're gonna start with the next layer. I think I am gonna add a little bit of orange to this. Keeping it's just like a more orangey salmon color. And I'm not grabbing a whole lot, I'm kind of brushing it off. I have enough on my brush, but I'm letting a lot of it off. And then we're gonna come up here and do some of like the more shaded areas. So on their faces, like around their eyes and beak, you can drop in some of that color around here. And then kind of just dabbing it around here. And we can get more, like we'll do more colors. This is just our second layer. Okay, and then down here has some shadows. And I am gonna put the finished product right here so that you can have a reference to look at. Okay, and I kind of did draw out a few of the areas where it is darker, so you can fill that in. And there's just like some random areas that you're doing like a rough, to where it looks like feathers, kind of like going vertical or horizontal, diagonal, diagonal. And then down here is gonna be more shaded. I'll be coming in with another color too. I do want to add some pinks in here, but you see how that's just starting to add some dimension? I'm gonna add a little bit more orange for this guy up here. Okay, so I'm doing dark at like that part and down here, or up here, but then I'm cleaning my brush off, dabbing off what I have, and then I'm just kind of like doing this, barely letting my brush touch it to where it pulls that color in. And I think we are gonna do some down here. Same thing though, you're gonna clean your brush off. This is called a drag and drop. So I'm doing a clean brush and just barely letting this touch to where it blends in. There we go. And this is a lot more like splotchy on the neck area because it's not those bigger feathers. So I'm just doing little dabs on the bottom shaded area, a little bit on the back side of the neck. And then this whole thing, you can see I drew it out for you, is gonna be darker. Just like this. And then there's some like where the sun is hitting up here. So you're gonna go around and down by the eye. Just like that. All right, we're gonna let that dry for now. I'm gonna grab more orange, come over here. Put it down a little bit. And that's gonna be back here. This whole area's orange. And then up into here too. These little spots. Nice job. And then right up here has it kind of mapped out for you. And while I'm doing this, I always love listening to music, so maybe I'll tag my playlist for you to listen to while you watch the video, because it is so therapeutic. I have to catch myself because I keep wanting to sing the songs I'm listening to. But okay, I love how this is turning out. We're gonna work on this one right now. This is our mama that's in the middle of raising her babies. So she's a little bit more white, and I actually am gonna have some black, like some grays in her feathers, but we'll start with gray because remember we go lights to darks. So up here I'm gonna have be gray. And then around the shoulder, gonna be more gray. And down here by the feathers, just like random of these sections that I made for you of the feathers, you can have come in, making it a little darker down here. But this section is like gonna be dark. And we can even come back in after and make it even more dark. Nice. Grabbing that same color, coming up here, doing this section. This is starting to look really pretty. And then I do want a little bit of gray on the neck a little, same way that we did with the orange. And to show the shoulder. Okay, and then I am gonna add some of this gray over here below this, because this is also a mom. I don't know, but this is what I'm imagining. And then we're gonna do black on this, or like a gray. And it's already mapped out for you, so you can just follow it. And if you have too much water, dab your brush off, and you can pull it off with your paper or with your brush. And then you're gonna do like that drag from the bottom, so that's a little bit gray too, and a little bit down here. Making some feathers. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna come up here and do a more pink version of this. Get some more color in there for this guy. And that's more dark than I want, so I'm cleaning my brush off and just kind of pulling it to where it spreads out better. Going all the way up the neck and stopping right there. And then bringing that dark pink that we just had around the eyes. There we go. And this is where we can add some of this pink in to some of the areas of this one as well, in the dark spots. Maybe we'll put it down here. A little bit around her face and beak. Down the neck, there we go. I think I'm gonna grab this orange that we have and bring it up. All the way to the legs. And then we can add this pink into the feathers. And it's okay if it blends together, I don't mind that. Kind of going over this orange with some gray and coming in and doing the feathers for this. And then let's have the mom have a little bit of that pink up here. She's still a little bit. There we go. Maybe a little bit in her neck too. And around her eyes. All right, and their beaks are a few different colors. Some of them have a little bit of orange, so we're gonna fill in the orange here for this beak. And then maybe for this one. It's a little bit more vibrant of an orange. And then we have black. I have a lot more water than I want right here in this beak, so I'm pulling it out. And if we need to go back and darken it later, we can. Yeah, let's do the legs. And they're all pretty similar color, and then for the base layer, and then we will add in some more. But I'm just pulling from this pink that we have. Let's see. I want to see if we like this pink too. Maybe we'll use some of that one after. Okay, I'm grabbing the water, diluting it down quite a bit, and maybe adding a little bit of this. And using the tip of your brush, if you need to, grab a smaller one, you totally can. I'm gonna use the same. And we are just filling it all the way in, and then we'll come back with another color. Okay, these are turning out so cute. All right, for this next part, I'm gonna add some more of this like brighter, vibrant pink in here. And a little bit of the orange. Oh, must have been an accident. Don't mind the sirens. Okay, look how pretty this color is. I added orange and the vibrant pink to what we already had. And it is a little bit more dense because I want some darker, brighter colors around their kneecaps. And it's okay if it's still a little bit wet, it can bleed together. Okay, this one is gonna have that more vibrant pink most of the way down. And then this one is gonna have like a shadow and then kneecap. Just like that, and you can clean your brush off, dab it off, and use the tip of your brush to blend that in. Then same thing, you can pull that color down. Okay, this is when we're gonna start adding in a little bit of some more colors into those legs. So we have the pink in the kneecaps, a little bit back here. But we wanna bring the colors that we're seeing in here to their legs, just in smaller parts. So I do want a little bit of that orange in this kneecap of this one. And then maybe a little bit in her feet. And then same thing, rinse your brush, dab it off, and then kind of pull that color to where there's not any like strict line. And then I am gonna have a shadow here on the top half. Clean your brush, get it dried off, and pull it down. Okay, and then I'm using some gray and coming in to some of these to show a little bit of a shadow on the back side. Oh, it's looking pretty. Same down here. Okay, I think we're good on the legs. I kind of do want to bring in more vibrant colors into their feathers for some of them. So I'm grabbing like straight from this orange. We're gonna see how this looks. I'm not covering the whole thing, but I am just dropping in where I see could be a good spot for it. I think around their faces are a little darker than I have them showing. And then same thing, when you don't want that harsh line, just grab your brush, kind of, and then pull it up. And then I do want the blacks to be a little bit more black. It's more gray right now. So doing the same thing here, and you can leave some of them lighter, but kind of come in. Okay, and then for their beaks, I'm coming straight from, I mean, you need enough water to get the pigment off, but this needs to be really dense, not a whole lot of water. Awesome. Okay, and then their eyes are yellow. Some of them have like black dots, but I see more yellow. So I'm gonna pull from here. My yellow has a little bit of green in it, so I'm gonna scrub it out for a second. I'm just doing really simple yellow, and then if you want to add black in later, once that's dry, you can do that. Okay, so now we're doing the background. We could have done this either way, like do background first and then the foreground. Sometimes that's better, but I wasn't thinking truthfully. So, because I just got so excited to paint these flamingos, but what we're gonna do is grab a blue, and if your palette's getting full, you can clean it out, but I'm just gonna put my blue right on top of this white that we had. But you can grab your napkin and just clean it out if you wanted. I have some colors mixed in with my blue. So I'm grabbing this one. I think I do want, I'm like mixing all three of these blues together until I find one I like. This is pretty similar. Okay, so what we're gonna do is do a very diluted, and we can come back in later. So I'm grabbing water, a ton of water, dropping it into my mixing tray. Okay, so I have a line here. You can't really see. I don't think I made one that went all the way across. So you can imagine just bringing it all the way. And this is where the water is gonna be. And be very careful not to touch anywhere that is still wet. Otherwise, your flamingo is going to blend right in with the water. You're gonna see some bleeding, which we don't want. So far, it's looking good. And you can leave these little white, these areas white for now, or you can go over them, and we're just gonna add some color into it after, because it's gonna show some reflection of the pinks that we're seeing. This is a little bit more muddy than I want, so I'm adding some more blue. Looking good. These pinks and blues look really pretty together. And it's just gonna keep getting more pretty when we add some more colors into this water. that we have that color in, I'm gonna grab some more of this more vibrant blue and kind of drop it in randomly horizontally. Careful not to touch, like I just did, your legs, but I'm just adding in some more colors very loosely, and I'm going horizontal. So don't do any strokes this way, because that's the flow of the water is. Okay, and I see some more darker blues, so I'm pulling from this one. And doing the same thing, just letting it kind of bleed in together. And then now you can grab your brush and kind of dab it off, make sure it's clean, and get rid of those harsh lines so you can blend them where you want them, so that you see more of just a loose water. Okay, now we're coming in with some of the colors we're seeing. So some orange, but I'm having it more diluted, and dropping it in. And it's okay if it bleeds into the water. And you can just add some like random little horizontal. So that's our first color. We did the orange. Now we can grab some pink and just like drop it in random. And then I think I am gonna put some of this vibrant orange in a few little spots. Okay, now we're gonna do the foreground, or not the foreground, the background. And I believe Everglades have lots of greenery surrounding the edges, but I don't want it to be at all in detail. So what I'm gonna do is we're going to fill in the whole back area with just water, and then we're gonna fill in some like greens to the bottom and blues to the top, and that'll give a very loose, like shallow depth of field look. But be very careful not to touch your beaks. It's really important. And if your water is super muddy, mine's borderline, so I'm gonna be okay. But if you have more color to your water than this, I would go empty it and refill it with clean water. But I'm filling it all the way to the edges, everywhere. Coming all the way up. Be absolutely, like, it's not the end of the world if you touch any white parts, or even the pink isn't terrible, but if you touch the black, there is a high chance that that black, even if it's dry, is going to bleed into your sky, and we don't want that. So be very careful. It's one of those things where you gotta work fast, but you gotta be careful at the same time. Those two don't go together very well. All right, almost done with the water. We can start dropping in colors after that. Now, if you have any puddle areas like I have over here, You're gonna pull that up with your brush. We don't want puddles, we just want it kind of shimmery. And I'm gonna pull, let's see what this color, yeah. This bottom blue and the top blue, mixing those two together for our sky. More of the top blue. And we're gonna drop that into the top. Let it blend down. I'm leaning my paper up just a little bit so that it can drop down better and I don't have to do as much work because of gravity. But you see how it's just slowly moving down. This is where we can add in some of the green. I want the greenery to be a little bit below their heads because I don't want to interfere with that. So we'll do our blues all the way down. Come on, a little bit more color here. Okay, and you see how like when it's just sky and water, there isn't a whole lot of contrast. You can leave it that way, but I want to see how it's gonna look if we do some green. And we still gotta move pretty quickly so the water doesn't dry. And I don't want these vibrant greens, so I'm grabbing purple, which is on the other side of the color wheel, and diluting that down, or neutralizing it a little bit. And then pulling it in, dropping it in here. Okay, this is puddling quite a bit, so I'm gonna grab it, dab it off. Bring it all the way up to about there. And because it's greenery, it's not all gonna end in the same spot. It's gonna be like roughly kind of moving around. And I do want this to be a little darker. So I'm, same thing, making the color I want. It's just gonna have less water in it so that it moves. There we go. Look how fun! That has some water too, so I'm pulling that up. Oh, I love the contrast that's building between the pink and the green. You get right up to it. And I am adding some different colors together to show that it, like, you can tell that it's a tree or greenery or whatever, but I don't want it detailed. Okay, so now that it's starting to dry, if you don't want those stark lines, like I don't, I'm pulling, using my brush, cleaning it off, and having enough water on there, but a lot of it is actually coming off, and you're kind of scrubbing slash letting these blend together. See how that water just kind of awesome. I love this. So pretty. Okay, I do want more blue in the sky. So gotta find a spot. Maybe I'll take this yellow out. Pulling that up. Just because I want some more contrast between the sky and their heads. So I want to see if we can, that's a little darker than I want. That's okay. Just gonna add some water to it to move it around. But I do like that better. A little bit of a more vibrant sky. So I'm just going around their heads, being very careful, but cleaning up those edges, and then blending it into the sky and the trees if you're in those areas. So even like down here, you see how that is more white? I want that color to go all the way up to those beaks and the heads. Almost started singing. Okay, adding that dark, this second blue, just to the top. This background is so pretty. We're doing a good job. I hope you're proud of what you're doing. I love this one. Grabbing some water. When you feel that it's getting a little hard to spread, just add a little water to it. Okay, so I love that. Gives the trees very loosely. You get some fun texture and color. Still just beautiful. Okay, and then if you want to add any of this from the sky, since it is like some will be reflecting, you can add some of that color that we made for the sky into the water. Just like random spots, right? But we are so close. Like we're in the finishing touches stage where you can add in some color that you're wanting. Or you can leave it and be happy. Okay, I think I'm good on the water. This is where if you're wanting like any of those bright colors to be put into the flamingos, you could do that again, like layer it even more. So like you could come in here, add some. Adding the vibrant orange to their beaks. Okay, I think we, let's see, maybe I'm gonna do one more thing. Grabbing our black and doing some dots for their eyes. Okay. There we go. I hope you're proud of what you painted because this was fun. And I can't wait for the next one. I think we're gonna do Yellowstone for our next page. So yeah, if you have any questions or wanna show me what you're painting or anything, please DM me, tag me, share it on your stories. I wanna be your cheerleader. So thanks as always, and I'll see you next time.